Welcome to lesson number 10. In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at modules and how we can use modules to simplify our projects. So let's jump into it. Okay, so to begin, we're going to make a new Python file and we're going to call this lesson 10 and modules. All right, so we made functions in our last video, and functions, just a quick recap, they're just a line of code that we give a name to and we send it a value or ask it a question, if that makes more sense, and it returns to us something. Now, modules work somewhat the same, they're just a little different, and you'll see why in a second. From this module here, we're going to say this. We're going to say, please, oh no, not please, let's say value equals, and we're using value a lot, int input, and we're going to make this video a bit easier than the last one. We'll say, please, need to put strings on it, please enter your cat age. All right, we're going to make a cat calculator again, and I'm going to change value to cat age. All right, now I want to call a function to check that cat age actually works. So I'm going to enter, and I'm going to maybe make another value first called check age equals, and I'm going to call my function check cat function, or check cat age will do, and I'm going to make that function up here called def check cat age. There we go, need the column there, and I'm going to send to it the check cat age. There we go, cat age. Now in this function, all I want to do is just make sure they've entered a realistic value. So I'm going to say if cat age is less than 0 or cat age is greater than 20, not sure how long cats live, then I want to return, and this time instead of returning true or false, let's return 0 if it's correct, else if it's wrong, that's not else if it's wrong, I want to return 1. Okay, and then underneath this we're going to say if check age equals 0, then we'll say print incorrect. Else if check age equals 1, then print cat age times 7. And if it's none of those, meaning they entered something completely different, we're going to print error. I'll say incorrect range here. Now you might be saying, well, we already know how functions work. We saw them in the last video. Well, let's just make sure this works, and then we'll get to the module part. So I'll run that, enter your cat age. The cat is 10, and it brings me back 70. Cool, that works. Let's run it again. Enter the cat age, and let's say 1000. It says incorrect range, and then I enter the cat age, and I'm pretty sure I told it was an integer here, but I don't know, -10. Incorrect range. Now if I didn't do the integer thing and I forced it to be an integer, then that's fine. I could do it so that this would come up, but that's fine. So this is all what we know. We're comfortable with this. We're now going to make this into a module. And the reason you might use a module is, let's say you had a team of programmers and it was your job to make this code here. And you needed to make this code. And the other programmer was just going to trust that your code worked. Well, you both can't be working on the same project at once. So you're going to make yours elsewhere. And we're going to right click over here and we're going to go new Python file. We're going to go lesson 10 modules. And then we're going to say modules, and we're just going to call this part or extra. Or we're going to, yeah, extra will do. Doesn't really matter. All right, so extra, this is where you're going to be coding. So your co-worker's working here and you're coding there. Remember, it's your job to make this. So I want to cut this here and I'm going to paste it here. So you've done your job, you've made it, I can put it there. So you've made your part of the code, and then they're making theirs. Now you can see you get this error at the top here. And that's because it doesn't know where this function is anymore, because it's on a different module altogether. And it doesn't know it's on a separate module. We have to tell it it's there. So what we can say is we can say, hey, I want you to look elsewhere for that function, because it's currently on a separate module. Now if I just type it in, and this is probably an error some of you will get. If I say from, and you might remember that command from when we got the random value. If I say from lesson, and you can see as I type it in, it needs a capital, because I put a capital, it actually can't find anything. It thinks there's nothing there. And that's because I have never run this before. It doesn't know about it. So if I just run this once, you see it finishes. Well, now if I go back here and type lesson again, well, he doesn't know about it either. Let me run it again and close it this time. I'll close that one too. Let me type it again. From lesson... he doesn't want to find it either. Let me try run this one, even though it's going to crash. Oh, it didn't crash yet. There we go, it crashed. Alright, try it again. From, lowercase, lesson, import, and it's, should be lesson 10. I think the reason I'm getting the error is inside the name over here, I've got spaces. So what I need to do is remove all the spaces. So I'm going to go lesson 10 and get rid of this modules and just call it lesson 10 extra and refactor that. And then I'm going to go run it. Cool. And now I can go back. So let's see if this works now. From lesson, there we go. It just can't have spaces. So from lesson 10, so from that module, so we've made our external module, this one here. But what do we want to import? Well, I'm going to say import and then say check cat age. And you can see now I've linked my two modules together. So this one here, which is the one you've been working on, remember, as a coder. And I've imported it to the main one that everyone else is working on. So if I run this code now, it says what's your cat age 4, and it all works. So that's how your separate modules work. You can see you can import them between each other using this command line at the top. Now if you had multiple things in here, like if you had another one, you know, def check range as we had before, and you know, cat age, this shouldn't work. We don't want to really do anything in here. I'm just doing it for an example. So print test. So if you had multiple functions within the same one, just run it, close it. Well, you can import, or you can use both of them. If I go comma, I can then import the other one that was in there, which was check range. Or instead of typing it in multiple times, I can just do a star like this, and that's going to import every single one I want into here. So that's going to import both of those functions into this module. So that's all there is for modules. It wasn't such a long one, this one. And you can see it means you can sort of section your code into separate parts and so on. And you can use, you know, things that you've made previously in other modules in your current module and so on. So I hope you learned something in this one, and I'll see you in the next lesson.